All right, all right. You see this view? Oh, hey, kitty. This view right here is super cloudy and hard to see, and it's not raining. Also makes sunsets pretty cool. What we're experiencing is called the Sahara dust. This is something I learned about maybe 5 years ago, and I thought it was fascinating. Pretty much the whole world relies on it. So here's what happens: millions and millions, tens of millions of years ago, they had these things called dinosaurs, big old reptiles that roamed the planet and ruled it for probably 100 to 200 million years. That's a rough estimate. When they died, they became what we now call fossils. So their bones got embedded in the earth, and other layers of earth got on top, on top, on top. So the Sahara is, I think, the largest desert in the world, covers most of northern Africa. There was dinosaurs there. So now all that sand, a lot of that sand is mixed with fossil. So the skeletons of the dinosaurs, over time, wind and water weather it down to little tiny granules, mix it in with the sand. And they have these Sahara dust, I guess, windstorms, Sahara dust layer. So what happens is a lot of wind as the earth turns, picks up and gathers tons of sand and sends it up into the cat. sends it up, uh, Sends it up into the atmosphere, right? So now you've got this huge dust storm coming, and then it goes right into the Caribbean. So that's what we're seeing here. And I just read an article a couple days ago that we're going to have a random one. I think usually our dust storms are later on in the year, but apparently we're having it now. So it has a lot of, it inhibits visibility, makes your air quality a little lower. Some people start coughing more, hard to breathe, because there's tiny millions and millions of little tiny particles of dust from the Sahara desert being thrown over here. But here's why it's amazing. So first off, the storm, almost is like a blanket, just like you can see, and reflects some of the sun, so it lowers some temperatures of the ocean. Cool. The more dust, the less sun penetrates. The less sun hits the ocean, the cooler ocean temps. Fantastic. All right. I think it's pretty minimal. I don't know if that's super effective. It's just one of the pros. Another huge pro is last year and this year we've been predicted to have some of the worst hurricane years ever. And last year Florida got hit, what I think a Cat 4 and a Cat 5. Florida got hit pretty hard. I think North Carolina or South Carolina got hit too. Here in this little island, we just saw I think it was Tropical Storm 5, Ernesto. I don't think he was a Cat 1. I think he became a Cat 1 after he left us. But that was the only thing we had, luckily us. They say this year's going to be just as bad, even though last year turned out to not be as bad for us. So we'll find out. But back to the Sahara dust. The Sahara dust actually prevents and helps stop hurricanes. So hurricanes require moist, wet air and stable, right? So it just kind of chills and it brews into a nasty little hurricane. Sorry, petting my little puppy over there. I got animals all over the place right now. Why are you guys all up here? You don't live here, you sillies. Aisha. Okay, so no, you're not the main pet. Sorry, my bad. Apologies. So this dust is dry and unstable, right? So it moves around. It's being blown, so it helps prevent some hurricanes. But the real big thing is, it's crazy how this planet works. The dust carries nutrients, right? All these fossils have iron and I think phosphorus and I think potassium, which are required by, most animals and plants. So when this dust comes, it gets blown all the way up, covers the Atlantic Ocean, all the way to the Caribbean Sea, and hits Florida as well, most times. Every time there's dust every year or whatever, it's always different, obviously. And so all these little nutrients, minerals fall into the ocean, and that feeds the phytoplankton, which actually produces more oxygen than the Amazon rainforest. About 50% of oxygen on this planet comes from phytoplankton, who take in carbon dioxide and breathe out oxygen like a good little plant does. So that's why they say the oceans are the Earth's second lung. So really, these Saharan dust storms, I don't even know what to call them. The big giant Saharan dusts that get blown over feed all of these phytoplankton, which are like the building blocks of the food chain of the ocean. Phytoplankton get eaten by like shrimp and all those mollusks, all that kind of stuff, which gets eaten, keeps going up and up. Whales eat plankton. So without the Saharan dust and all this food to feed the plankton, there may not be an ocean. Don't quote me on that, but it sounds pretty serious. Obviously, they figure out other ways on other parts of the ocean, but the dust comes to doesn't. So dust helps prevent some hurricanes, feeds the ocean, provides our second lung, lots of oxygen for us. Super awesome. Negatives is obviously you get some cloudy visibility, you get the air quality. Some people's lungs don't like it. I'm feeling fine right now. Oh, another positive is you get crazy cool sunsets. So it's a little early right now. It might be too cloudy to even get one, so we might not even get a sunset today. It's a little bit happening over there. And then one of the negative things, though, is that it also feeds these minerals to like bacteria. So every so often, in Florida specifically, they have, I think it's called like a red algae bloom. And the red algae, if it's the right type of minerals or the right settings, whatever it is, you know how this Earth works. It's different every time. Crazy planet. Hard to tell everything the same. But at times, the Saharan dust comes to Florida and feeds the proper set of nutrients or the proper climate or whatever, the red algae, and they have red algae blooms that like kill fish and take over like all of South Florida, and it's a massive problem. And I don't think that they have a solution to that. I don't know. I don't think it's happened for a couple of years. Maybe right before COVID is the last I remember. You can chat GBT that shit. But there's your little breakdown on the Saharan dust. If you haven't heard of it, it's kind of cool, and it's actually pretty fucking important for this planet, which is crazy that those dinosaurs are still providing light for all of us today. Oh, on that note, every drop of water that you drink used to be dinosaur pee.